So
How do you feel like the culture has shifted since Coach Campbell came on board?
By kneecaps, homie.
Exactly. I mean,
because he came in and obviously you've had
right.
he's not your only head coach. Like being in Detroit, being part of like that losing culture. Not that you were a part of it, but your first
I was
year
there for the first 2 years.
First 2 years you're tasting it, hearing it from everybody else, and then Coach Campbell comes in. Like, how do you feel like that culture has started to shift?
Well, the thing is, like with Matty P, right? He was there for my first 2 years, and it was like he was already on the hot seat. Like everybody, like our fans get after.
I heard I heard some not so good things about him.
Yeah, and those like
I forgot.
I was his pick, right? So dude liked me. Like he didn't talk to me a ton outside of like the meeting or anything like that. But dude, outside of that was cool. But then when he got into the meeting, it was like he tried to be Belichick a little bit.
Yeah,
you know? And it was like
just trying to like alpha dudes, or
no, it's just like like all right, man. This is what we got to do today. The hard way is the right way, and that's true. I mean, it really is. But on the same hand, there's like a player vibe with Campbell that like dude's played like, and dude has like he understands what it is, and it's still hard way is the right way. Like we're gonna practice hard, we're gonna do a lot of hard things, but on the same hand, he's gonna take care of us in certain situations because he knows what it is, and he knows like camp's a grind. So we're gonna take a day where it's like, hey, all right, we're not gonna do the 9-on-7 or whatever it is, and it's like.
Yeah,
that goes a long way with your players. And then last year, dude, we were in it we were losing, right? I mean, like we were 1-11 or something at one point, and it was
still grinding. The boys are still playing.
Yeah, and we're working hard. Like it's not like we stopped practice. It's not like we cut practice short. Like we were working really, really freaking hard for week 12, week 13 in the season, and we understood the assignment though. Like Campbell like came to us and was like, dude, like this is what we have to do. And to have a guy that's played in it, like that's like you just know that's true. You know what I mean? And so I think that's more of the difference. Like Campbell's been in it, he understands it, and he's good to us. Like outside of the meeting room, he like talks to us. He tries to build like a connection, and he wants you to come talk to him. If you have a problem, dude, like go talk to him. And that's why I love like because some dudes close their door upstairs. And don't let you come in. But Campbell's always got it open. Like you go talk to him, go chat it up with him for an hour, and he'll cancel his meetings for you, and that's dope as a player to have a coach like that.
Yeah. Got a lot of rape similarities.
Yeah.
How's he in team meetings? Is he hard on dudes? Is it a lot of questions?
Dude, it was like he puts you on, like he puts you up. If you did something wrong, he'll put you up and like make sure and it doesn't happen again. But like, who doesn't do that? You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
I feel like Vrabel's about that. Like, that's his fucking deal.
Yeah,
he'll be like, he has teams keys and he has offensive keys and defensive keys for each week. But like, I'm expected to know certain things even about the defensive keys.
Right.
Like he'll be like, Taylor, what's one defensive key this week? What's one special team key this week? I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like he's just
and he puts the pressure on. It's not like
he puts the pressure on, and it's like
dudes might laugh at you if you don't know it or whatever to try and like be light about it. But Vrabel,
yeah, he wants you to know.
Yeah, he wants you to know. The expectation is there. The standard's there.
No, it's the same. I mean, he'll go through the keys in the team meeting and be like, hey, this is what we got to do, and then he'll be like, hey, Hawk, who you got to worry about this week? Or like, what are you thinking this week? And it's like 57's gonna be over top of me. I'm gonna have a safety over top too. Like stuff like that. Like, so he tries to make it very game like. There's a lot of competition. Yeah. Like in practice, dude, we're one-on-ones. We're trying to like, I mean, we're running at each other trying to put juke move against the defense. Like just things like that he wants to see, and like he gathers the whole team. Like you were saying, you don't see many wide receivers run routes during practice, right? Like Campbell will have the whole team come around and it'll be one-on-one. And he'll be like, show what you got, which is cool too. Cause like Taylor's never seen me run a route, or like Frank's never seen me run a route in practice. But then I route a dude up and he's like, dude, you got that. Like, that's sweet, and it's cool to have that from guys that don't see it, like, and then you go to Sunday and then, maybe you don't catch a ball or you don't, and they're like, dude, what's happening?
Like, what? They care about you. Like, hey man, what's
like,
the deal?
bro, what's going on? Like, they're just not throwing, and I'm like, no comment, but like, it's cool because they know how good you are in that situation, and like that they can count on you in a tough situation. That's
when you're in the situation of like, in situations where you go through a whole game and you don't get a ball thrown to you, or maybe you get one throw or something like that, and it goes on for like one or two. Like, listen, we all know you're a team guy. No one here is indicting you for a character, but like that's just got to be frustrating when you're like, damn, like if I'm playing receiver, I want that fucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know the ball can only go.
I mean,
be
you want to be that guy in any situation, right? Like you want to be a guy that your quarterback's going to look at, and that's the bond that you have to make outside of the football field, outside of like you have to have a bond with the quarterback. Like JG, I mean, dude's texting me right before I got here. Like you have to have a bond with him.
Mm-hmm.
So when he is in a tough situation, like he's going to throw it down to you or whatever it is. But like on the same hand, when you're going in a game, it depends on the game too. Like we played 2 games last year where it was like pouring down rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like your mindset has to change a little bit where, okay, now I'm not the guy, because a tight end is a unique position. You have to do everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. Like one game I could be split out half the time, and then the other game I can be 80%, 90% in line. And so those games where we played Cleveland and it was pouring down rain the whole time. And it was like, dude, we might not get a throw off because the ball's wet. Conditions are slippery. Like they have real grass. Like it's tough. And so your mindset has to change in that situation. Like, all right, now I got to be a blocker. Now I got to do this. Now, so it is tough. But then when you go into the film room, it's tough because it's like, shit, like I was open here, but like there's a lot of different factors out of this, because of the conditions or whatever it is. It's just, so it is tough in that situation, but like, out of this, like it's your job. So I'm getting, like
I'm still fascinated on all the Campbell stuff, and I don't know how to ask this without sounding like disrespectful or without sounding like an asshole. But how does
Speak your truth, bud?
Well, what I want to ask is how did again off the whole culture thing, how does going throughout the year last year, losing the majority of the year, differ from losing the majority of the years prior to that? You know what I mean?
No,
what I want to get to is then after you explain that, it's obviously a testament to how you guys were responding. You guys win the last game of the year when it doesn't even fucking matter, and you're all like,
play the Cardinals. They beat the Cardinals too,
yelling so hype. So talk about how the process was throughout the year when you're grinding, you're in it, and you're still fucking losing, even the changes that had been made versus years prior.
Campbell I honestly think that Campbell had a solution, not a solution, but a schedule, and it didn't vary throughout the season. Like he knew what week 13 would look like before the season started, right? And so he was the same guy on week 13 as he was on week 1. Like we had that schedule. We had week 14, week 15. It was the same schedule. It was, hey, we're going to relax on you guys. Like I'm not going to vary based on the wins and losses.
Us losing, we're going to
right.
And
whereas
that's huge.
Sometimes, when you guys, when you get into a situation where you're losing a lot, the coach can have a fire on his ass. Like, hey, we have to start winning. We got to do this. We got to do this. So you do more. You do this. And then that doesn't help. You're week 14 in the season. If you don't know how to run a basic route, or you don't know how to run a route that and have the same timing with your quarterback, you're fucked anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's week 14 in the season. And so that's where Campbell's not making us go out there and run 50 routes with JG because, hey, we didn't lock up on these routes. Like he'll pick 2 or 3 and we'll do them. And then it's like, all right, cool. You guys got it.
Okay.
That's the difference. And he came into the meeting rooms and he's like, you guys, this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. We're on the edge. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. And I think there's a fine line with that, right? Because you can say that and you can do it, but he feels it. And we feel that from him. You know what I mean? And
feels what when you say feeling that we're close to a breakthrough?
He really feels his words. It's not like he's just going in there and saying it. He really what you see is what you get. You guys, they see stuff and, a coach can front that and do things, but that's not him. He really feels and has the heart for the game. And as players, you feel that, so instead of me sitting back in my meeting chair and being like, yeah, we have to win. We, I get it. Hard way is the right way, but that's not, are you just saying that or are you feeling it, but he's in your face and you get on the edge of your chair and you're like, all right, this is where we go, and so we win a couple games last year at the end of the year and it's builds it, it builds the culture, it builds the guys. And that's where, you want to be, and that's what you want to do.
You guys end up probably feeling like, oh, we're hitting that tipping point. We're breaking through a little bit. Like, yeah, it's not going to show on our record this year, but we're figuring out that this is the way. Like, if we stay the course, like, we're headed in the right direction.
This is what you got to do. And like when he says things and you do it and then you win and like you're just like, I mean, dude, how many games last year did we lose by?
Oh my gosh, I know.
Like
it sucked.
It was awful. Like it was so shitty to walk in on Monday and watch the film because it's like that close.
Yeah.
And it's like it could be any given play. Like you guys know how it is. There's 70, 60 snaps a game, and it can be one play that's the difference, right? And so that's what his message was to us is like, hey, it's one play. So you have to play every play like that's the one.